Good. No, really excited to be honest with you. It's, I think the opportunity I've been presented at York is an exciting one. It's an opportunity that it's really whetted my appetite. So after meeting the owner and hearing his sort of plans for the club and his ambition and his aspirations, they certainly were aligned with mine. So I just felt that obviously this York job, it's come at the right time and it's the right fit for me right now, and like I said, it's a really exciting project to be part of.
Yeah, it seems like Clint is really bought into the club and the project.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Like I said, that was one thing I was impressed with when I met with him originally, when he came to me about the job opportunity, and just the way he presented his plan, the way he presented his vision, the clarity that he had on that too. There's nothing. I haven't come into this job questioning anything like, well, I didn't know about that or I didn't know about this. He was dead honest from the start, and like I said, he just felt that this club for me probably connects with the values that I hold, and certainly, like I said, the ambition and aspirations and the vision that the owner has for the club. I certainly share that. So, like I said, I just felt this was certainly the right job for me at the right time to get back into coaching, because I didn't feel my coaching journey had finished, to be honest. Even though I'd left Warrington at the end of 2021, I came into a head of rugby role here at the Keighley Cougars, and which I felt that was the right fit for me at that time, because the right coaching job wasn't there. But obviously with this one coming knocking on my door and having those conversations, I just thought, this is the job for me.
And by nature, there's not a lot of opportunities that come up where you come into a club where they've been on the up and up for like 5 or 6 years now.
Yeah, that's right. No, that's it. That's one positive thing. I'm not coming into a club because generally, I think when a club makes a change, it's generally the club's either at rock bottom. It needs an impetus of energy and fresh ideas and fresh this, and or like you said, the club's at the top of the tree, and whoever the coach is at the time just either gets a better opportunity elsewhere or just thinks that's enough. I've done my job there. I've achieved what I've wanted to do. So then you're taking that job on there. So it's not too often that the change is made as it is now, especially when the coach in place still had another 2 years running on his contract. So for whatever reason, that coach has made that decision to make the move, and obviously the club acted quickly and obviously approached me and appointed me. So, but like I said, the foundations are pretty good. I think when you look at the club as a whole, off the field, their off-field operations strong. Behind the scenes, they've got a good operation, backroom staff within the club. From that business side of things, you look at the training facilities. I think are Super League standard. The playing facility is Super League standard. The foundations off the ground now, doing some really good things in the community and running some fantastic projects within our community of York. We've also got the women's team up and running. It's been very, very successful, and then we've now got the wheelchair off the ground and the PDRL off the ground as well. So there's some real good things going on in terms of infrastructure wise around the club and being built, and then obviously from the performance side, as you said, the club's been slowly just making them small improvements on the field, again, and doing a pretty good job with the limited budget and playing squad. So the challenge now for me is to be able to build upon that, help grow the team further, help develop the team further, and hopefully get us in a position in a few years' time when the time is right and we earn the right to be in Super League.
It's not one of the kind of natural bigger names of the rugby league circuit, but it's a real rugby league city now, isn't it? Because of what's gone on at the club.
And there's a lot of history with York too. It's a very old club. It's there's a lot of history and heritage behind that club, and it's one thing the owners set up actually at the club shop now. When people come into the club shop, we've got a heritage wall now that sort of a bit of a timeline of the past and the present. Because you're right, not a lot of people probably know the history, but there's been some good names that have played at the club, and I know it's been in different forms and different guises over the years, and I think one of the things Clint identified was obviously the history and the heritage. That's why he's reverted back to York RLFC to really connect the past to the present, but doing the sort of modern spin with the rebrand of the Knights and the Valkyrie, which I think complements each other well and works well as a club.
Yeah, on the field, some big additions this year.
Yep.
Happy with the squad you've got?
Yeah, I'm happy with the squad. I wish it was a little bit deeper, if I'm being honest. But again, that's out of my control. And I knew this. That's what I said at the start of the interview. I had these conversations with Clint coming in. One of the first questions any coach asks is, "What budget have I got left to bring in players?" You've got none, Hendo. That's your squad. So listen, obviously the previous coaching team and Clint had obviously recruited and retained the squad, and that's what they were running with. You know what I mean? It's just a little bit unfortunate for me that we've had a number of players on the treatment table. So I've come in. Obviously, there was a few guys with medium to long-term injuries that I've inherited, and then we've had a little bit of disruption through pre-season with a few guys being sort of granted time off after the World Cup, and a few other guys granted some leave to go back to Australia, etc. So it hasn't been the ideal preparation, but in saying that, I have to really give a lot of kudos and credit to the playing group, because I think the ones that have been here throughout the start of pre-season until now have really acquitted themselves well and conducted themselves very professionally, and even the guys that have been away have still been doing the work away, even though they haven't been on board. So I have to say they're a good group, and there's some real good talented players, both young, established and experienced within the group. So I'm happy with the squad as a whole, and I think what we delivered in our 2 pre-season friendlies was really, really encouraging. Just for me as a coach, gives me confidence knowing that the key messages and the key sort of focus areas that we've been trying to drive throughout that pre-season and trying to change the mentality a little bit, and some of the attacking play and the way we want to defend, was quite evident that we're able to see some really good encouraging signs in those friendlies. So I think we're in a good place at this moment in time, albeit it would just be nice to have a little bit more competition for places and a little bit more strength in depth within the squad.
Yeah, it'd be important to start with as well, won't it? Because it's a hell of a league this year.
Oh, mate, it's really exciting, this competition this year. I think the one thing that's probably made it even more compelling is the fact that normally the team that gets relegated from Super League evidently still spends very much a Super League salary cap or budget, retains a real core of the team that they had in Super League that are Super League players, and then they add some other decent players to that roster at the time, and then continue to do that throughout the year as well. So it always means that you're probably, for most championship clubs, they're probably already up against it, if that makes sense. Not saying they can't ever beat them, but they probably go into the season going, well, it'd be nice to beat them. It's going to be pretty tough to beat them to achieve promotion. It'd be great to do it, but it's going to be tough. We haven't got the spending power. We haven't got the playing roster or the talent pool to really probably challenge. But it'd be nice to do it. Whereas now, this year, I think, and that's not being disrespectful to Toulouse, they have remained full-time, I believe, but they've only got a 19-man squad currently. So, they haven't retained, I think, a lot of that squad that was part of the Super League side have sort of dispersed. So it's almost a bit of a rebuild for Toulouse in a way. And with a small squad, even though they're full-time, does that give them much more advantage? I'm not so sure. So I think there'll be a number of other clubs within the championship that are actually thinking, oh, could be a chance this year. We could have a chance. And I don't think there's much that separates a lot of the teams in the championship underneath generally that full-time team that comes down.
Yeah, it feels like there's 12 teams going for the top 6, about 8 going for the top 4. And unlike other championship seasons where there's 1 or 2 going for the top position,
I agree.
There's probably 4 or 5.
100% agree. Yeah, and I think that's what makes it exciting. And I think everybody will generally feel they've got as good a chance as anybody in this competition this year. I really do believe that. And you'll probably find what'll be probably the mitigating factors in the end will be those injuries to key personnel, because I think every championship squad will look at their rosters and go, there's some real quality individuals in their teams. Every team's got those, but if they haven't got those key players playing at the right time, that could be the undoing of them, if that makes sense. So, but no, it's definitely exciting competition this year.
With that in mind, is there a target?
I've not set a target on my team, if I'm being brutally honest. I just think, there's been a lot of change in the last 12 months for this playing group. Change of ownership, change of brand for the club, obviously change of coaching staff now, even there's some new recruitment being done as well before I arrive. But so for me, I just want us to be the best team at competing this year, and I just want us to showcase that effort each week, and hopefully the outcome will take care of itself. I'm not going to place targets on it. I just believe that if we get the process right, the outcome will take care of itself, and I think we've got as good a chance as any other team in this competition to achieve something special.